what fiscal implications there might be and what implications there might be for jail or prison capacity, given the new crimes that are proposed to be committed here. Senator Holmstrom.
Senator Latz, to that point, I am certainly willing to consider this as a standalone bill. If I do so, can I get your help to, or at least your commitment to seriously consider it and allow it to come?
Hello there and happy Friday. It is February 20th and this is the afternoon shift. I'm Adam Lorenz. We're coming on the air today and we're going to be bringing you momentarily, it's supposed to start any minute now, the Neighbors United press conference. You're probably wondering what Neighbors United is. It's an organization started by members of the Somali community at Karmel Mall in Minneapolis. Karmel Mall, for those that are not familiar, is a shopping and community center, for the Somali community in Minneapolis. They're holding a press conference to announce demands for justice and relief from ICE's presence in Minnesota. After shutting down Karmel Mall on the Ice Out Fridays, you probably remember those. They happened 3 and 4 weeks ago today. Somali workers and small business owners formed this organization called Neighbors United. And like I said, any minute now, they are going to be delivering a press conference about ICE's presence in Minnesota and announcing demands for justice and relief. I am joined by our executive producer, Paul Milgate. Paul, won't you mind putting up that shot of inside Karmel Mall so the people can kind of see what's going on? There you go.
Yeah, we've got it. I'm just going to bring the audio down. What I would suggest just in a way that makes sense.
Yep. So there you go. You're seeing a live shot inside Karmel Mall right now, where this press conference is going to start any minute. And as soon as it does start, we will be bringing it to you live. I'm not sure if this is the first speaker. It doesn't quite look like this is the first speaker yet. So while we wait for that to happen, let's set up the rest of today's show that's going to be happening after that. So we're expecting that press conference to go 30, 40 minutes. After that press conference is over, we're going to be doing our first ever weekly news wrap-up quiz. It's going to be diving into all the news that we experienced this week. I'm going to be joined by Grace Henry, one of Fox 9's afternoon shift producers, and Fox 9's senior executive producer, Lori Fisher, will be joining me right here in Studio 9, and we are going to be quizzed by Paul Milgate on all of the news of the week. Then after that, we're going to continue our Black History Month profile series on Nellie Johnson. Probably not a name that you know, one of the most foremost Black Americans in the city of Minneapolis, the only woman to have a statue built for her inside the Minnesota State Capitol. She helped found the Minnesota DFL Party, Democratic Farmer Labor Party. We're going to be talking all about Nellie Johnson. I'm so excited. I learned all about her today. Then after that, the biggest news nationally of the day, the Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's emergency tariffs are illegal. We're going to be talking to a political science and law professor from the University of Minnesota all about the Supreme Court's ruling. And then after that, tonight, it's going down at 7 o'clock at Indeed Brewing Company in Minneapolis. They are holding their first ever beat battle, and we are going to be joined by the host of the event, a producer, and a DJ himself. He's going to be telling us what exactly a beat battle is. Maybe he'll give us a beat himself. And this all goes into sort of a silent protest, if you will, of ISIS presence in Minnesota. We're going to be getting into that as well. All right, like I said, we're just waiting for this press conference to start at Karmel Mall any minute now. But while we wait for the press conference to start, let's get into some headlines of the day. The big news coming out of Minnesota, Vance Bolter, the man accused of shooting and killing Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and also shooting Senator John Hoffman and his wife. He was back in court today, and I'm keeping my eye here on Karmel Mall. A federal prosecutor said that the U.S. government has yet to formally decide whether to seek the death penalty against Vance Bolter. Vance Bolter, that is, made a brief appearance inside the U.S. District Court in Minneapolis, and assistant U.S. attorneys asked that the matter be taken up again at a future hearing. So we're going to see if Vance Bolter will, in fact, face the death penalty for the crimes that he is charged against with the shootings that took place this summer against two of Minnesota's lawmakers. All right, let's continue on now. Team Canada survived another close contest in the Olympic men's hockey semifinal, beating Finland 3-2 on a last-minute goal. They are in the gold medal match on Sunday, where they will take on either Team USA or Slovakia. Team USA is rolling right now in the first period. They're up 2-0 on Slovakia. They're going into the first intermission. We're going to keep our eyes on that game and bring you that final score when it happens. But it is shaping up for another USA-Canada showdown in the Olympic hockey gold medal match. We just saw yesterday Canada and USA go at it in the women's hockey gold medal match. The game went to overtime, the USA pulling victorious in that one. We'll see what happens between Canada and the USA, potentially meeting for a gold medal match on Sunday morning at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. All right, now finally, it's the first Friday of Lent, which means that fish fry season is upon us, and there are so many taking place across the state of Minnesota. I'm so pumped. I'm going to be at St. Thomas More in St. Paul later today at their fish fry, and it got us thinking here on the afternoon shift team about fish fry traditions and cultures. And Paul, we're curious if you've ever participated in a fish fry yourself.
I have actually been to a couple of fish fries. I've been fortunate enough here in the land of 10,000 lakes. There's a lot of great fish fries that you can head up to. I'm just keeping half an eye on this and trying to bring up the correct graphic while we do that. It does look like there was someone currently at the podium doing a mic check, so we'll be going to that press conference, I'm sure, very, very soon. But to fish fry, yes, I've been to some private ones. I've been to some that have been at some churches. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of fried fish?
That's what I'm saying. Fried fish, as you call them, chips, really just French fries, coleslaw, maybe some dinner rolls, some potatoes, some peach cobbler as dessert. It really does make a nice mark. And to me, it's really kind of the first signs of spring is coming once the fish fry season comes about.
And not full spring, not like well, you thought it was spring. Here's 7 inches of snow.
We're going to get another one of those full springs next week. I think the high temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday is supposed to hit in the low to mid 40s here. So we're going to see, obviously, the Twin Cities hit with a ton of snow on Wednesday, but though it is supposed to be a thaw this weekend, and next week the weather does look good again. So we could have another full spring. We'll see.
Speaking of great food, have you treated yourself to a trip to Karmel Mall? Have you been before?
No, and we were just talking before the show. I want to go because I feel like some of probably the best sambusas in the entire country could be found at Karmel Mall.
I'm sure you can get a couple of really good ones there. Look, we get our camera operator, photojournalist is obviously getting that shot set there. Yes, I mean, incredible stuff. I was just having a quick read through some of the places that have really been struggling in the last few months now, since Somali community was sort of highlighted, picked out, sort of spotlighted as, and just the sort of impact that has had on them. And sad to see this sort of once bustling hub of community, of amazing food, of culture, just really shutting down and grinding to a halt.
Yeah, and we saw Representative Ilhan Omar. She used the Karmel Mall as a backdrop for a press conference that she did. I think it was either 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So this really is a cultural center for the Somali community. It looks like they're about ready to begin here. They're putting up an abolish ice banner here. Let's take a full glance into and let's hear what is going on inside Karmel Mall.
It says abolish ICE.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
How late is it?
Does someone want to maybe just pass this?
Again, if you're just joining us right now, we're standing by Neighbors United. It's an organization started by members of the Somali community at Karmel Mall. They are holding a press conference to announce demands for justice and relief from ISIS presence in Minnesota. If you're not familiar with what exactly Karmel Mall is, it is a shopping and community center for the Somali community here in Minneapolis. After shutting down Karmel Mall on Ice Out Fridays 3 and 4 weeks ago, Neighbors United began, and it looks like they're about ready to start. Let's take a listen into what Neighbors United has to say inside Karmel Mall.
How organized is that?
Yeah, it's in his hand. You would have to hold it. But it's a mic. Yeah, it's a mic. It's a mic. Pass it around.
I don't like it.
we'll mix it, right? It's mixed.
But still, I thought it was before March.
So again, we're waiting for this press conference to begin here with Neighbors United. It's an organization started by members of the Somali community at Karmel Mall. They are talking, holding a press conference announcing demands for justice and relief from ISIS presence in Minnesota. You may remember this is a Friday. 4 weeks ago today was the big Ice Out march that took place in the city of Minneapolis. Tens of thousands of people flooding the streets of Minneapolis protesting ICE. There was a call for no school, no work, no shopping, none of that. That was 4 weeks ago today. They ran it back, and if you remember, by the way, on that day 4 weeks ago today, it was the coldest day of the calendar year to date, with wind chill temperatures creeping into the below 20s, minus 30 in some places. They ran it back the week after that, so 3 weeks ago today was another Ice Out Friday. Not as attended as heavily as that one 4 weeks ago, but still several thousand people on the streets of Minneapolis protesting ISIS presence in Minnesota. These happening back-to-back Fridays, and now we're 3 weeks removed from that last Ice Out Friday protest, and we're getting this today at Karmel Mall. And like I said, this really is a community center for the Somali community in Minneapolis. We had Representative Ilhan Omar use this as a backdrop for one of her press conferences, and they're beginning now. Let's take a listen.
Ice out, families in. Ice out, families in.
Ice out, families in.
Ice out, justice in.
Ice out, justice in.
Ice out, justice in.
Ice out, justice in.
Ice out, small businesses in.
Ice out, small businesses in.
Ice out, workers in.
Ice out, workers in.
Ice out, neighbors in.
Ice out, neighbors in.
Thank you all for coming here today. Good afternoon. My name is Ibrahim Sagula. I'm a community organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I've grown up here, and Minneapolis is my home. We're here gathered today because members of the Somali community have launched Neighbors United, an organization to fight for justice in the wake of the racist ICE attacks. The general strike on January 23rd and the national shutdown on January 30th showed what organized people can do. Together, we could push back against this racist administration. We say we reject the lies against the Somali communities and the attacks on our families, and we demand not only ICE out, but the state repair the damage that has been done. So I'm going to invite the next speaker, the first speaker of today, Zahra Abdullah. She's a community organizer and the president of the Somali Wayna Relief Agency. Welcome, Zahra.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it working? Yeah. Alaikum salam. To all Muslims and brothers, and good afternoon to everyone watching today. My name is Zahra Abdullah. I am a small business owner. I am a community organizer. And today we stand together as a family, workers, business owners, faith leaders, community members. These people beside me are the bravest responders to this crisis taking place in Minnesota. Our community in Minneapolis and across Minnesota have experienced fear, separations, job loss, and severe economic costs. By the action of U.S. Immigration and Customer Enforcement, also known as ICE, I wanted to thank our neighbors also for their unconditional support, for standing outside the precinct and making sure we're okay and safe, for making a whistleblower to warn us when ICE is around. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I also want to say thank you to those who drove across the state lines just to buy from us and support our small businesses. I want to thank you for also my neighbors for bringing food so we can provide those trapped in their houses and unable to walk or go out from their community because they fear being catched and thrown to the jail. I also want to thank you for the thoughtfulness for bringing dates and water so Somali communities are able to break their first Ramadan with dignity, because Ramadan is not the same this year for us. I also wanted to thank my brothers and sisters, Somali brothers and sisters. I know Ramadan is hard for you, but you are the bravest people I know. You survived civil wars, and hang in there. You can go through this one. Also, but that's not it. We must repair the damage by making sure that this is for our governors, for our state, and for our legislators. We want to make sure that the existing relief programs fits into our criteria of small business owners, not those who make $200,000 and above. We don't make that much amount. We have been suffering since the crisis of ICE. We also demand an immediate help to evictions so families are not pushed to homelessness during the crisis. Our community deserves accountability. Our community deserves safety. We need also justice for those who lost their lives defending the community. ICE out, families in. ICE out. ICE out, small business in.
ICE out, small business in.
ICE out, justice in.
ICE out, justice in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zafira, for that great speech. Next, I'm going to invite Waris Mahmoud, who's a Somali business owner here in Karmel. Waris.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, all of you. I will say thank you whoever is here today, and I will say thank you for all Minnesota neighbors. That's what I'm saying. I'm a small business owner, and I'm a mother who works for herself. We have suffering since starting for ICE. We wanna, whoever bring over here, we wanna they pay. Only that's what I'm saying. And I'm asking our governor and our state. We are taxpayer. We need pay back whatever they committed ICE. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Waris. Next up, we have Khadija, who's also a Somali business owner and a community organizer here in Karmel.
Hello, everybody, and my name is Khadija Warsame, and I'm also owner of the Sarah Cafe Shop. So we're talking about ICE out, repair the damage. What is the damage? How's the damage effective for our community? How ICE has damaged our community and the businesses. They also destroyed the hobbies of dreams and of small businesses. They also destroyed our immigration, and who has come, they are great land. And the land of the free and the Thomas life is a part of. Also, they also damage our city, especially killing streets. So ICE out, who pay the damage?
Thank you, Khadija. Next, we have Cecia, owner of Abby's Restaurant. Thank you.
De nada. Good afternoon. My name is Cecia. I'm owner of Abby's Restaurant. Over here? Okay. Thanks to everyone that showed up today. Our community, our workers, and our small business owners who are still standing despite everything we've been through. I'm here today because Metro Search ICE operation didn't just target people, it targeted our livelihoods. It targets families, it targets neighborhoods, and it targets small minority-owned business like ours. When ICE came into our communities, fear followed. Customers stopped coming out. Workers were afraid to show up. The streets went quiet. Restaurants sat empty. Shops closed. Some businesses didn't reopen at all. This wasn't an enforcement. This was economic harm. Many of us lost weeks of income. Some of us lost staff. Some of us fell behind on rent. Some of us are still trying to recover. And now the city is offering loans. Loans. Let me be clear. We didn't cause this crisis. So why are we being asked to go into debt to survive it? Why are small minority-owned businesses owners being told to borrow money just to stay afloat, while landlords, many of whom treat buildings like hobbies or investments, still get paid there either way? They don't lose sleep over empty dining rooms. We do. They don't work 17-hour shifts. We do. They don't worry about feeding their kids when businesses drop. We do. So I have to ask is how the system works. Is this another move where the rich stays rich and the rest of us are told to struggle harder? Because that's what this feels like. We work hard, we serve our communities, we employ local people, we pour everything into these businesses, our time, our bodies, our hearts, and when something like this happens, something completely out of our control, we are told, here's a loan. Not relief, not accountability, debt. That is not justice. And even when grants are offered, the burden still falls on us. We are asked to prove and justify our losses. We're expected to provide profit and loss statements, inventory records, payroll documentation, paperwork that many truly small businesses simply don't have ready, especially after weeks of loss of income. Some of us cannot even afford inventory right now. Some of us are struggling just to pay our employees. Not everyone will apply, not because we don't need help, but because this process itself becomes another barrier. Grants recognize harm. Loans shift burden back into the victims. And let's be honest, many of our businesses were already in red. Inflation drove prices up, prices cost more, rent went up, labor went up, margins disappeared. This operation was the final blow. This metro surge didn't impact undocumented families. It ripped through entire communities. It hit immigrant neighborhoods. It hit blacks and brown businesses. It hit single parents, and it hit workers living paycheck to paycheck. You cannot destabilize a community and then expect it to recover on credit. We are not asking for handouts. We are asking for fairness. We are asking for grants, not loans. We are asking for policies that protect working people and, working people. We are asking leaders to stand with the community, not above it. Because small businesses are not corporations. We are people. We are mothers and fathers. We are cooks. We are cleaners. We are entrepreneurs who believe in this city. And we deserve support that helps us heal, not support that puts us deeper into debt. Today I stand here not just for myself, but for everybody, every small business owner who is exhausted, scared, and still showing up. We are resilient, but resilience should not be exploited. So today I call city leaders to act, turn these loans into grants, protect small minority-owned businesses, hold landlords accountable, invest in communities, not property, stand with workers, stand with immigrants, stand with the people who actually keep the city alive. But we do not need more debt. I think we all have enough of those. We need dignity, we need justice, and we need action now. Do better for us. Thank you. Y chinga la migra.
Thank you so much, Abby, for that great speech. Next up, I'm going to invite Farhia. She is the organizer of Somali Youth League.
Thank you, Ibrahim. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's here today, coming to the Karmel Mall. We are a proud Somali community. I'm proud Somali woman, African woman, immigrant woman, Muslim woman. We have all that titles, right? I just want to say, ICE out now. ICE out now. ICE Justice for Renee Good.
Justice for Renee Good.
Justice for Alex Brady.
Justice for Alex Brady.
We need justice now.
We need justice now.
I want to say thank you. Some of the community organizations, there's many of them are here, but I want to recognize Movement for Black Lives. I want to recognize New Justice Project. I want to recognize
the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
I want to recognize Unity Community Mediation Team. I want to say thank you to Sarah Cafe, who doing the hard work. I want to say thank you to Suez Beauty Collection. I want to say to Latino community who's here working hard and forced with us. I want to say thank you to Monk community who are here standing alone and standing strong with the Somali community. And what's happening in our community is not normal. I want to go and I just prepared some few for you guys for me to read because I couldn't keep all of that in my mind just talking about. We are here today at Karmel Mall standing together, small business owners, farmers, workers, families who are struggling to pay rent, afford food, cover electricity bills, and meet basic needs. This is not about politics, right? This is about survival for our communities today. We are calling on our elected leaders, Democrats and Republicans, to put political differences aside and show up for the community in time and need. You ask for our votes, and be honest with you, it's a midterm right now. And this is all going to come down to midterm. This is what's happening why I asked in Minnesota. You ask for our votes, and we ask you to show up for our communities. And come to Minneapolis and St. Paul, sit with the small business owners, listen to the farmers, hear directly from families who are hurting every day. We thank our mayor, Jacob Frame, Minneapolis, and Minneapolis City Council, who are doing hard work for stepping up for our communities, but they cannot do it by themselves. We need action the state level and the federal levels. We also call on Senator Amy Klobuchar and Senator Tina Smith meet with small business owners and farmers immediately. Our call is I would like for the senators to invite all of these business owners and farmers to testify so their voices can be heard in Washington, D.C. We also call on Governor Tim Walz to meet with us directly. While I understand 10 million loan program was announced for certain businesses, many in our communities are struggling pay day to day. They are business owners. Many our community are struggling today, day to day. Relief must reach to everyone, not only 200,000 people who are making up to $4 million. Loan is not going to do anything. Not just an earning for $200,000 and name our smallest businesses are struggling and working families need support right now. ICE enforcement actions are impacting Minnesota families. Children are afraid to go to school. Businesses are losing customers. Our communities deserve transparency, accountability, and real dialogue. We thank Minneapolis neighborhoods. Thank you, Minneapolis. Thank you, Minneapolis neighborhood, for coming out strong, resilient, and standing together. This is not about politics. This is about effort about communities. I want to say thank you to Department of Minneapolis Neighborhood Safety, who's on the ground every day, making sure we all are safe. This is a time for unity, courage, and action. Our message is simple. We are here, we are hurting, and we will continue to raise our voices until our leaders show up and deliver solutions. We still invite, this is for me just adding at the end, we still invite President Donald Trump. We're not a garbage. Somali community is proud community leaders here. We are, we're not a garbage because we smell really good and we're gorgeous. And we are hardworking immigrant communities in here. So what I said was, we still invite President Donald Trump to visit Minneapolis and have a tea and samosa with us to hear the voices in our communities. in Minnesota. Ramadan Kareem, I want to make sure that you guys understand what's happening is not normal. This is something that we must unite together as a one state. When we say Minnesota nice, now I believe it, okay? When you say nice, I personally say neighborhood, immigrant, community, enforcement. How about that? So I'll say please come together as a unity. Whatever we're doing here today is just the beginning because we want to come as a community. We're united. ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! Justice for Nay Good! Justice for Nay Good! Justice for Alex Brady! Justice for small businesses! Justice for families! Justice for families! Justice for farmers! Justice for farmers! Justice for schools! Justice for schools! Justice for everybody who's fighting for injustice. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabio. Next speaker will be M. Adams for Movement for Black Lives.
Yeah, my sister, yeah.
ICE out, Somalis in.
Ice out, Somalis in.
ICE out, Somalis in.
Ice out, Somalis in.
ICE out, Latinos in.
Ice out, Latinos in.
ICE out, Latinos in.
Ice out, Latinos in.
ICE out, Hmong in.
Ice out, Hmong in.
ICE out, Hmong in.
Ice out, Hmong in.
ICE out, families in.
Ice out, families in.
ICE out, black in.
Ice out, black in.
ICE out, black in.
Ice out, black in.
Ashe. We, the Movement for Black Lives, are a national movement of black-led organizations across this country who are clear and committed to justice and liberation. And we are calling on justice-loving people, liberation-loving people, and peace-loving people to unite in the fight of our lifetimes. And we are in the fight of our lifetimes. They have declared war on our communities by giving the rights of people with hoods and masks to come in and to kidnap our children, to kidnap our loved ones, to kidnap our elders under the guise of immigration, and we will not allow it. We are here to say no more ICE out, and when we say ICE out, what we mean is abolish ICE. We have the right for our families to return home. Yes. We have the rights to know that our children will go to school safe. Yes. And we have the right to know that we will be safe when we work. Yes. So when we say ICE out, we're saying abolish ICE. Yes. And when we say we want real relief, we want restoration. No evictions. Yes. No evictions. No evictions. No community should be terrorized and then evicted for trying to survive that terror. No evictions. No and not only do we want the eviction stopped, we don't want any debt. So give us the grants. Give the communities the grants. That is the least this government can do to try to restore the community that is facing devastation. And we want grants to protect families. No family should be put out for trying to survive ICE terror. And we want grants to protect small businesses like the Karmel Mall, like the Hmong villages, like Latino businesses and black businesses, because Minneapolis should be for families and small businesses and not for kidnappers who are kidnapping children and kidnapping family members. Yes. Yes. And another thing that we want you to know as the Movement for Black Lives, elected officials, we are watching you. Yes. We don't want just nice statements. We don't only want nice press releases. What we demand to see is dollars into the community members most affected by the things that you've allowed to happen. And yes, you allowed it. Elected officials, we are watching you. We are going to know if you are serious about ending the harm if you directly transfer hundreds of millions of dollars into the hands of Somali, Hmong, Latino, and black businesses who have suffered the terror of ICE. Yes. And we are going to know if you are serious about actually delivering relief when you take serious the impact on children for what has happened. When you take serious that we are facing authoritarianism and that you listen to the people of Minneapolis. And so with that, Movement for Black Lives, we stand strong with the leadership of the Somali community and the amazing Somali women who've been organizing. We stand strong with the leadership of Hmong folks, of Latinx folks, and black community members who are here to say, ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out! ICE out!
Next, I want to invite Abdul Qadir Usman, who's an entrepreneur and graphic designer.
Ramadan Mubarak. It's the third day today of Ramadan. usually Karmel Mall is a lot of people, but this year no one is here, except few of us. This is unusual Karmel Mall. My name is Abdul Qadir Osman, a community organizer and a small business here in Karmel Mall. We standing today together here with other community members, announcing new non-profit organization, Neighborhood United. This NGO will unite and bring together all of us. Since we've seen ICE in our neighborhoods, people wake up and unity is everywhere today. In Karmel malls, in Latino communities, in any other communities. As ICE preparing to leave Minnesota, the impact is everywhere. Small business owners are suffering right now. Governor Walz and Mayor Jacob Frey, look Karmel Mall, look Lake Street. Lake Street, this time supposed to be a lot of people. Sometimes you can't even see cars in Lake Street. It looks like a ghost town. We have to bring our neighborhoods, our city back alive. This is small business behind me. They are suffering. They can't even pay their rent. And now, when release, we're not even getting 10,000, even 5,000. Few of us, they haven't even paid the last 3 months, 2 months since it's been seen in our neighborhood. We have to unite, first of all. We have to support our communities and also other NGOs and donors. I'm asking to help us because most of us, they can't even pay their rent. This is unusual. And Governor, look at us, and Mayor, look us, because these small business owners, which keeps this corridor alive. And thank you, everyone. My name is Abdul.
Thank you, Abdul. Next, I want to invite Kang Yang from the Southeast Asian Freedom Network.
Thank you. Thank you. Nyashong. My name is Kang Yang, and I am with the Southeast Asian Freedom Network, a national social justice organization for people from Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Today, we stand alongside our Somali family and neighbors, black and brown communities across Minnesota, who continue to be under attack. The Hmong and Asian American community is vibrant and deeply rooted here in Minnesota. Unfortunately, we are too often invisible in the immigration conversation. Even now, our own people are being targeted, detained, and disappeared. In the last few weeks, our team has spoken with more than 100 community members in 48 businesses. We are hearing consistent reports of ICE going door to door in our neighborhoods, agents in plain clothes walking through parking lots and inside stores. Businesses are terrified. One restaurant owner lost over 70% of her income in days because customers are too afraid to leave their homes. Rent is still due. Workers are losing hours. Families are losing income. This is not just immigration reform or this is not just immigration enforcement. This is economic violence against immigrant communities who built Minnesota's small business corridors and who are also the backbone of the manufacturing workforce powering the state's largest corporations. The human toll is devastating. Mothers and sisters are becoming sole breadwinners overnight. Children are traumatized, confused, grieving, and trying to understand why their loved ones disappeared. We reject the dehumanizing narratives that criminalize our communities. Everyone deserves due process. Everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves to come home. ICE and CBP are violent and unaccountable. They cannot simply move from one city to another. ICE out means abolishing and defunding, not relocation. Fear tells us to stay quiet, but history shows us that when communities are isolated, injustice grows. That is why we stand together, Hmong, Somali, Black and brown, indigenous, immigrant, and refugees, because our liberation is connected. Thank you.
Welcome back here to Studio 9. You were just taking a look at the Neighbors United press conference happening there at Karmel Mall. There were a number of speakers, both from the Somali community and other immigrant communities across Minneapolis, many of them small business owners and restaurant owners. I just want to profile one of the people that talked. Her name is Miss Cecia Barre. She's the owner of one of my favorite restaurants in the Twin Cities, Abby's Restaurant in Uptown on Lake Street. She was just talking about how ICE's presence has really taken an impact on her business. I know for a fact that business used to be open 7 days a week. Now it's only open Thursdays through Saturdays, I believe, with very short hours, very long wait times if you're trying to dine in there. And just a little note on Miss Barres, she went, her story went viral about 4 or 5 years ago when a homeless man came into her store asking for money, and she said, "I can't give you money, but I can give you a job." Well, that man ended up being one of her best employees, washing dishes, taking out the trash, ended up being a cook for Abby's Restaurant. So this really is a person that has really given back to the community. And I think that that was the message that you heard from all of those business owners there at Karmel Mall, is that they are really putting a lot of their energy and resources into the community, and they're trying to get people back to their businesses. But it's been tough with ICE's presences. People are afraid to go out. People are afraid to go to work. And so it's just really kind of created a very complex situation for many of these small business owners. Again, that was the Neighbors United press conference. Neighbors United started basically in response to ICE. It was an organization of Somali workers and small business owners that really kind of came together after those ICE Out Fridays that happened 3 and 4 weeks ago today, respectively. All right, like I said at the top of the show, for the first time ever here on the afternoon shift, we are going to do a weekly news wrap-up quiz, quizzing you all at home on some of the biggest news that happened this week. I'm so pleased I'm going to be joined by 2 of my colleagues here, Grace Henry, a producer for the afternoon shift, and Lori Fisher, senior executive producer here at Fox 9, and the host of Enough Said, which you can watch right here on Fox 9 tonight at 9:30. She's going to be joining Grace and I here in the studio, and we're going to be quizzed by Paul coming up right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. The afternoon shift is taking you all the way to the Fox 9 News at 5 o'clock. Welcome back here inside Studio 9 for the afternoon shift. We are about to do our first ever news quiz, weekly wrap-up news quiz, quizzing you all at home and those here in the studio on some of the biggest news of the week. One of those big news agenda items that you just saw was that press conference at Karmel Mall with Neighbors United. It was an organization started by members of the Somali community at Karmel Mall. They announced demands for justice and relief from ISIS presence in Minnesota. If you're not familiar with what exactly Karmel Mall is, it's a shopping and community center for the Somali community in Minneapolis. They shut down Karmel Mall on the Ice Out Fridays that happened 3 and 4 weeks ago, respectively, and Somali workers and small business owners, in light of those Ice Out Fridays, where, if you remember, they called for no work, no school, no shopping. Those Somali workers and small business owners formed what's now known as Neighbors United. It wasn't just Somali community members that spoke there. You heard the owner of Abby's Restaurant in Uptown Minneapolis, Miss Cecia Barres, talk, among other speakers that were also present and involved at that press conference. So, with that being one of the biggest news items of the week, we decided that we are going to try to do a small game here called our weekly news roundup quiz, where we're going to quiz you all at home and my friends that are going to be joining me here in the studio here in a second on some of the biggest news items and biggest stories that happened this week. I am eventually going to be joined by Fox 9 afternoon shift producer Grace Henry and Fox 9 senior producer Lori Fisher, who is also the host of Enough Said. You probably know Enough Said. You can watch it every Friday night, just like tonight, right here on Fox 9, beginning at 9:30. That is when Enough Said comes on, bringing you the biggest sports news of the week. One of those biggest sports news agenda items is going to be Team USA men's hockey, who's up right now 4-0 over Slovakia. 2 more goals in the second period for the red, white, and blue. And they're up 4-0. And I'm not saying it's a guaranteed deal that they're going to win, but it looks likely that they are going to win. All right, I have a couple friends here in Studio 9 that are just getting all set with mics and with their sound system so Paul can hear them. We're about to go to a wide shot here. I'm so pleased to be joined by Fox 9 senior executive producer Lori Fisher and afternoon shift producer Grace Henry. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's my bad.
You're good.
I'm just going to be honest. I'm teaching myself how to do like really complicated social media videos for Fox 9.
Yeah.
And I just got lost in my phone.
You know what? It happens.
Poor Grace.
Were you editing? Was it?
Yes,
yes.
I'm trying to edit.
It's fun. Yeah.
It is until you spend 45 minutes on editing something that is about 30 seconds, and then I start from scratch. So my bad.
And you're a perfectionist too, so you want it to be perfect. I get it.
Yes, but thanks for having me on again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's good to Grace. You're here too. It's good to have you here as well. And we're gonna do this. It's the first ever afternoon shift weekly news wrap-up quiz. I'm going to throw it to Paul Milgate here. Paul is the organizer of this game, and he's going to lay the rules for us all. Paul, what do you have to say?
Well, I'm trying to work out. Yeah, this. I've realised I didn't check the boxes. So if Grace and Laurie, can you just scooch as close to each other as you possibly can? And then everyone is all in screen together. So that is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to play. Perfect. Great. We're going to play a game that we're calling for today. Send us in any updates, any ideas you might. The Headline Hustle. It's a weekly wrap-up quiz of the news as it was this week. Everyone here works at Fox 9, so I assume you're kind of across what's been happening in the news. How are you feeling heading into this? Senior executive producer Laurie Fisher.
I was off on Monday and Tuesday on a college trip, and then I went home sick on Wednesday with a headache. So I'm not feeling 100% with everything I know, but I hope that I have a good, I'm well-rounded.
Yeah, you're up to date. I feel good, Grace. How do you feel?
I might embarrass myself, but we'll see. It's all right.
That's
Who cares?
Okay. Who cares? Embarrassment together.
We'll see how tough Paul makes it.
I think because this is the first sort of headline hustle, we're going to try and keep it pretty easy for everyone. So I'm going to try and just get myself situated here. The way that this is going to work is I'm going to give you a bit of context about the news story. Then I'm going to pose the question to you, the graphic you'll see up on the screen. I'll talk you through it. You'll have one of three choices. What I need you to do is to write down A, B, or C each time. We'll talk it through, and hopefully I'll give you a little fun fact about each of the news items at the end.
I like
How's that
it.
sound?
Let's do it.
Fun. Let's
do it.
Okay, all right. Let me get myself situated
Don't
here.
look at my screen.
I'm gonna try.
Right, it's all secretive. Nobody wants to.
Okay, here we go. All right, you can hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
Okay, so this week a massive winter storm rolled into Minnesota, burying parts of the North Shore under several feet of snow. Which community recorded the highest snowfall total? A, Ely, B, Hovland, or C, Grand Marais? Now, you don't have to jump straight into it. Feel free to kick it around, have a discussion, and let me know what you're thinking.
All right, so I'll start it off here. Do you all know where any of those cities actually are on a map? Like, could you point those cities out on a map? Ely, Hovland, or Grand Marais?
Yes, because I'm actually headed that way tomorrow morning.
Oh, my goodness. Where are you going?
Lutzen.
Lutzen.
Skiing.
Okay.
Yes, which is just south of Grand Marais.
Okay, so I don't know how much snow Grand Marais got. It's going to be good skiing weather, right? Or
Yes, I actually talked to a resort up there yesterday, last night, and they said people are flocking there. I would think maybe the conditions would scare people away with the driving, but no.
Yeah. Do you know where Ely is?
I know where Ely is.
Ely is, yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know where
heard of
Hovland is.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is.
I feel like I could point out 2 of the 3 on a map.
Yeah. I think Hovland is way up north. And so that's my guess. And I feel very good about this. I feel like we're all going to have the same answer here. Because I think everybody knew that Hovland set the kind of record, 36 inches, I think, or 37? 38 inches. 38 inches. 38
a record,
inches.
I believe.
A record.
Lutzen was 24, and like I said, that's not that far from Grand Marais.
Yeah.
Hovland,
All right.
yes.
Show me your boards. What have we gone for?
We got
B, and B.
B's across the board. Does that mean we're right?
Is that the winner circle?
We'll pretend that's the reason I pushed the button.
All right.
Let's do it. How about when we're right, you play that?
You're right. When we're wrong, you can play the second. Way to go.
Great.
Hovland.
Yes, Hovland. Hovland saw between 34 and nearly 40 inches of snow, one of the highest totals reported in the state. Now,
Crazy.
fun fact, it's an unincorporated community in Cook County, which means it doesn't have its own city government. So technically, the snowiest town in Minnesota this week isn't officially a town at all.
Plowing it then.
That was the first place my brain went. Yeah. Who's in charge of clearing the streets there? Yeah.
You're on your own.
38 inches. I honestly could not even imagine. That's 3 feet. That's crazy. Yeah.
All right, so you've all got 1 point. I'm moving on to the next
Right.
one. Okay, here we go. Let me bring up the graphic and not accidentally hit the music. This week, a legendary rock band surprised fans by releasing a new EP called Days of Ash that references the events in Minneapolis. Which band dropped the Minnesota referencing release? Was it A, Coldplay, B, AC/DC, or C, U2?
We defer to Lori here. Lori's the big music person at this table. Yes. Yeah,
U2.
Yeah.
Although, I know it's U2.
Yeah.
But I could see Coldplay doing it as well. AC/DC would be a crazy one. I mean, not crazy, but like, I mean, they're together still, right?
I think so. They're from Paul's neck of the woods, right? Aren't they from Australia?
Aussie!
Yeah.
I'm going U2.
Yeah.
All right, U2. What have we got? U2
Oh,
from
sorry,
all
should
of
I
you.
said C?
Okay.
C,
Ooh.
I mean.
You got it.
I already messed up, Paul.
Yeah,
Give us
I
that
said it
music.
wrong. I said it the wrong way around. Let me see if my graphic.
There we
Yay.
go. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there you go. And the music. There it is. U2 and Bruce, we want to give a shout out to Bruce Springsteen, who also released a song as well.
And played it at First Ave.
And played it at First Ave and announced this week, this was another news item that happened this week, he announced that he's launching his American tour at Target Center on March 31st. So
Have you ever seen Springsteen in concert?
No, I have not. I have not. Have you?
I did years ago. I was pregnant with my first, so it would have been almost 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
Wow.
Yeah.
So, he's still rocking it.
We're still rocking.
I'm curious to see how expensive the tickets are.
Expensive.
It's
Yeah.
going to get really
I'm
pricey.
surprised he didn't do the bank because that can fit a lot more.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah. It would be cool to see Bruce Springsteen. I know, isn't there a famous like saxophonist from the E Street Band or something like that? I don't know.
Yes, and he was, I can't think of his name, but
Yeah.
he played for, I believe, Conan O'Brien.
Yes, yeah. That
Right?
makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
So
He
yeah,
was a personality.
he was a personality. Shout out to you two and all of our friends over in Ireland as well. All right, Paul. How about number 3 here?
Okay. Last week, Lindsey Vonn crashed
I don't know
at
this
an
one.
Olympic competition and underwent
I don't know
surgery
this
for a
one
serious leg injury, which we
This one?
This week, in a recovery update, she shared some heartbreaking personal news. What did she reveal happened the day after her crash? A, her dog died. B, lost a major sponsor. Or C, her childhood cabin burned down. Now, I know this is a bit of a bummer. We're going to bring it up. We're going to turn this mood around, but I want you to, it's a pretty big one. And if any of those three things kind of happened the day after such a massive crash, you'd feel for her. But, you know, which one are you going for?
It can't be lost a sponsor, right? I mean, I ruled that one out immediately.
I ruled that one out too. That's too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon. You can't do that to her.
But I think it could either be A or C. And I know she's a Minnesota person, so like the cabin is the whole thing here, right? That's what you're thinking?
I could be A, but
you went C?
I'm going C.
I went A. But I feel like
I think it was
Grace
A.
knows A.
It
All
must
right.
be
I wasn't
It must
sure.
be A then.
I wasn't sure.
Because I remember thinking, what a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare.
Oh, we got the sad after.
Oh, wait.
Yes, Vonn shared that her 13-year-old dog Leo died the day after her.
I ruined it for everybody. I should have known that one too.
Now, Grace, we're just up 1 point on you now.
1 point.
We're up 1 point.
I know she dated Tiger Woods.
She did date Tiger Woods.
I didn't know that.
She did. And by the way, since we're talking about Tiger Woods, and I love golf, this is his tournament. He hosts the Genesis Invitational. This is his tournament week out in Riviera Country Club in LA. The only.
Are you going?
I wish. I've been 5 times. I wish I was going. He's never won there, but he made his PGA Tour debut at that.
Another
at
fun
Riviera.
fact.
Yeah. So shout out to Tiger Woods. So yes, and Lindsey Vonn. Yes.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yes. All right, here we go.
Now, it wouldn't be a quiz with me without animals involved in some capacity. These ones remain alive with us. What kind of animal are Olympic mascots Tina and Milo? They're over there. They've been on social media. They've been creating quite a bit of hype. Are they A, Arctic foxes, B, stoats, or C, snow leopards?
Does anybody know what a stoat is? I don't know what a stoat is.
I don't. I need to call the Minnesota Zoo.
Okay, I can tell you what a stoat is.
What is a stoat?
Another thing from Australia.
No, we don't have stoats in Australia, and in fact, New Zealand, they're actually illegal. You can't bring them in because but they are an animal that is native to Minnesota. We have a lot of stoats up north. Little weaselly kind of thing. Brown, fluffy, look like a tiny little mini ferret. And they sort of whip around in the snow. So all those animals there, Arctic foxes, stoats, snow leopards.
For the Winter Olympics, I don't know. I feel like it's either going to be A or C.
Grace, I feel like you should start.
Okay, well, I think it is actually.
Oh!
I do.
I went with A.
What did I with a question mark?
I bet it is a stoat.
Is it?
Drum roll. It is
C.
Oh!
I saw it on social media.
Bring it up.
I did because
Bring
it
it
was
up.
weird.
Bring up the graphic. Bring up the graphic. Grace is up right now.
That's right.
Wow,
She's
Grace.
up 4 points.
That's right.
3 points for me. Yep, there's the stoat.
It just means I'm chronically on social media. That's the issue.
You're undefeated. You're 4-0 right now.
I feel like you need to invite me back so I can redeem myself.
Grace is crushing it. All right, Grace has 4. I've got 3. Lori's got 2. All right.
I just want to jump in really, really quickly though. People, when they see a stoat, tend to think it's a rodent because it's brown and mouse kind of shaped, like it's long and mousy looking. But it's actually what belongs to a family called the mustelids, and it's a carnivore. So it's in the same family as otters, badgers, that sort of thing. They're not actually rodents. Rodents are known as animals that have their front teeth that continually grow their entire life.
Okay.
So that's what sets it apart. And little
Interesting
stoats are carnivores.
That's a stoat. We learned what a stoat was today.
Now you know what a stoat is. That's the whole point of these things. So up next we have our next question.
All right, here we go. What's a social media platform?
Okay, this week the U.S. Supreme Court, obviously busy this week, heard arguments that could impact the future of one of the most used apps in the country. Which platform is at the center of the case? Is it A, Facebook, B, TikTok, or C, Instagram?
This is perfect. Lori was just editing a social media video.
I know, okay, so this is why I should know. I always think it's TikTok because it's TikTok for everything because we don't the fight over TikTok has been nonstop.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's been something about Facebook lately too. So.
Ooh.
Well, I know like a year ago today, it's when the TikTok ban happened and everyone freaked out. I think it was about a year.
And
maybe
it just
a
keeps
little
getting
over a
pushed.
year
The
ago.
goalpost of
Yes.
when you're going to lose TikTok just
Yeah.
keeps getting pushed.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's TikTok because Facebook and Instagram are technically both Meta, the same company.
True. That's
so
the logic.
I think it's TikTok, but I don't know. I'm going with talk. I'm going with the talk here.
I'm going with the top.
Were you editing on the talk before you came in here?
No, I was editing on something else to put on the gram.
CapCut? You ready?
Yes.
Yeah, CapCut.
Yes,
Yes,
I
yes,
was.
yes. We're all right. We're all right. It's crazy with some of these apps these days, like CapCut, like TikTok, like Instagram. I mean, it really is a computer in your fingertip. You can do everything on your phone, editing and everything. It's insane. So
Again,
It's like it's perfect. The story, sort of the whole segment dovetailed. It started with Laurie telling us about social media, and now the whole segment ended with a question about social
It was
media.
called like a segue, and then it came all the way around.
Yes.
Let's
yes.
keep going, Paul.
Yes.
I want more questions.
Unfortunately, I've only written 5 questions,
No,
so
I
you're
want
going to have to
more.
come back another
I
time.
studied up.
But Laurie, now that I know you all did so well, next week it's going to be tougher.
Yeah, but I
promise
won.
It's going to be yes,
Grace,
did win.
she's got to defend her title.
Yes, Grace, you won. Congratulations.
What does she get?
Yeah, what do I get?
You get 2 days where you don't have to come to work, starting from 5:30 this afternoon.
Sorry, Grace.
But
It's a
you know
small
what?
reward.
You know what is happening later today? That's very exciting.
This is right.
This is right. It's what we call another segue. I'll leave it to you, Adam. You tell us what's exciting.
Yeah,
this
9:30 tonight. We got enough said on Fox 9. You want to give the people a preview of what they're going to see?
Sure. Every week, Friday nights, I do a show. I produce it. I am on with Dan Barrero and Justin Gard from KFAN Radio. They have a show from 3 to 6:30 on 100.3. We talk a lot of different things, a variety of things, a lot of sports, but newsy stuff as well. And tonight, leading with, we'll talk the Olympics with the women's hockey team. Amazing, with so many women from Minnesota on the team.
Yeah.
The Wolves are back in action after the All-Star week. And then, we talk the Twins, Pablo Lopez, Jesse Jackson. We remember Jesse Jackson.
Wow.
And then we get to a lightning round that we just kind of throw everything that's left over in. So,
I love it.
Including the winter weather.
I love it. I love it. We're going to be talking a little Twins baseball with Jim Rich coming up in today's show.
Great.
The first Twins spring training game on Fox 9 against the Boston Red Sox Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday at noon on Fox 9. On Fox 9 Plus, you can watch the Twins.
Yeah,
in
can
spring
I
training.
do one more plug?
Let's do it.
Wednesday in the 7 a.m. morning show, we will be debuting. We will officially release the Fox 9 2026 Town Ball Tour.
Wow, there it is.
So
Very
the
exciting.
dates and the towns and the teams and all the things, and it's high profile names who are doing the release. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
High profile.
Okay. All right.
Larry Fisher.
Yeah.
Not me.
Jim Rich, who's gearing up on Zoom right now.
Okay, I will say that Jimmy Rich is behind it.
Jimmy Rich is behind
the magic of the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour release is all because of Jim Rich.
Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That-
he has connections.
Hopefully, I'll take a guess. How about Byron Buxton and I'm trying to think who the ace pitcher is. I'll go Byron Buxton maybe as one. You're not saying I'm wrong, so I'll take that as a maybe. Byron Buxton and Derek Shelton, the new Twins manager. Those
You
would be-
might see them.
And Joe Ryan. How about Joe Ryan?
Okay,
Oh,
stop.
I'm nailing all of them. I've nailed all of them.
Okay, we're gonna go to break. Where's that music, Paul?
We're going to break. Jim Rich coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Did I really nail it? Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. Let's talk a little baseball. The Minnesota Twins, they're about to play their first game of the 2026 season, albeit an exhibition game. They take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in about an hour. Next Wednesday, they're going to kick off their spring training debut on Fox 9 against the Boston Red Sox. You can see that game at noon on Fox 9 Plus. And tomorrow, they will play their first spring training game of the season in totality, also against the Red Sox, not on Fox 9. But our very own Fox 9 sports anchor, Jim Rich, is down at the Twins spring training headquarters in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida, where it's 84 degrees right now. Jim, what's going on? How's the weather down there?
It is a spectacular evening here at Hammond Stadium. Twins are getting set to take on the Gophers. By the way, you can watch all Twins spring training games for free. Twins TV is opened up, so you just have to log in. You can watch them all. So when they're not on Fox 9 Plus, you can still find them there. But crowd is starting to fill in. Some few fans making it in, but most are entertaining themselves with the beverages that are available on the concourse. And here, I'll show you right behind me. There are the Golden Gophers. And they are jacked to be here because they get to play against Major League Baseball talent. And look at all the guys crowded around the cage to watch each other to see if they could put it out of the stadium here. They're just having a blast getting a chance to play in this game. And as you said, it's just an exhibition, but still, it's so cool for these kids to get here and get a shot to play against real professionals.
Jim, I want to know, is this the year for the Golden Gophers? Is this the year that they're going to take out this game?
Are they going to win tonight?
Yeah.
Well, they could. They could. They do have some good young talent. I don't know if their pitching is going to be able to take on what the Twins have. Now, in fairness, the Twins aren't using all their stars tonight. They're just using a couple of guys in this one because, as you said, they got to turn around and play tomorrow across town over at JetBlue. So they won't be putting in the Byron Buxtons, the Royce Lewises, the Brooks Lees. Instead, Josh Bell is going to play. That's good. And Zebby Matthews will be the starter tonight. And Zebby's been throwing the ball real well. So I think the Gophers are going to have a tough time getting some offense going. But we'll see. You never know.
The Twins are going to rely heavily, Jim, on Zebby Matthews this year. I know there was some breaking news that came down earlier today on Twins star Pablo Lopez. Can you tell us what's the latest with him?
Fortunately, he will have to undergo surgery on his elbow. So this year is done. It's over with. And he's hoping to be ready for 2027. The surgery will be on Wednesday in Houston, and then it'll just be a year of recovery for him. So that puts a huge hole in the Twins rotation. Obviously, anybody that loses their ace, but this team will have to try to figure it out. We had earlier on all day, we had Jeremy Zoll, the new Twins general manager, join us, and we talked about how things are going. And I said, well, how are you going to fill this? And he said, because of the fact that we currently have space available and a runway until the season, he's going to try to use as many of these young guys and see what they can do in spring training. And then he says, if we have to make a move, we will. He said, Tom Pohlad said, if we need money to go out and get somebody, we'll do it. So we will see how the Twins attack this. Tom Pohlad has said all the right things to this point. Now he has a chance to step up and really help out this ball club if they do need help financially.
Absolutely. And so we'll see if the Twins are going to make any moves there. Jim, for those that are maybe not really familiar with spring training baseball, can you just tell people what's the purpose of these games? Why do they need a month plus in advance to get ready for the season?
Well, one, it's a moneymaker because the players aren't paid, and you fill up 10,000 seats a night and you make some good money. That's one. But back in the day, the baseball's history and the tradition, it just goes on and on. And so it's basically tradition because at this point, these guys come into camp in shape. They're ready to play from day one. They don't need 6 weeks to get their body in shape. They never let their body go out of shape anymore. There's just too much money involved right now. So basically what you're seeing is that it's the old school, right? It's come down here. We have these beautiful ballparks. I mean, Hammond Stadium is one of the nicest spring training facilities here. They got a boardwalk now that goes all the way around. There's plenty of vendors, and it's spring break. So everybody comes down here anyways. So why not play some baseball, have some fun? And, the pitchers, though, they do need the work, and those are important steps, and you don't want to rush your starting pitchers. So that's kind of what we have seen here throughout the years. But you're a baseball guy, right?
I know it well. And the Dodgers, my team, they used to have a spring training home down at Vero Beach, Dodger Town down in Florida. They're now in Arizona, but I understand the tradition and the pageantry of all of it. I've never been to a spring training game myself. It's on my sports.
You haven't?
I know. I'm embarrassed. It's on my sports bucket list.
I mean, Florida is awesome because there's so many teams. Well, obviously Arizona, they're all right in the neighborhood. They're 20 minutes apart. But here, everybody has old school stadiums. The Yankees have their stadium that resembles Yankee Stadium. And then the Red Sox, just 6 miles away from here, have Jet Blue, which represents Fenway. And so, it is really cool. But here's a pros tip for you.
Okay.
Go to night games, because then you're not sitting here on a rotisserie rolling in the sun for 3 hours. This is so beautiful right now. It's like you said, 80 degrees, light breeze, and it's just a gorgeous Minnesota summer night is what it feels like.
I love it. Jim, it's February 20th. Let's get your prediction for the Twins this season. I think their Vegas over-under set at 73.5. You think they can hit the over on that? You think they could be in a position to, I don't know necessarily about winning the Central, but you think they have a position to potentially get into an AL wildcard slot?
I think they will surpass the Vegas odds. I think that shouldn't be a problem for this group. I think the biggest X factor for this group is that they have so many young guys that they're all expecting to blossom and grow at the exact same time. And I think that's really rolling the dice. You could have maybe one or two where you're counting on young guys, but look at that infield. You got Brooks Lee.
Yep.
He's going to be your shortstop. Royce Lewis trying to figure it out again, right? He's at third. And then Luke Keeschel, who's coming off the injury and the surgery at the end of last year, he's going to be at second. And then you have Josh Bell at first, who's a proven commodity. So you look at those guys, you need 2 or 3 of those guys to hit close to 300 for this team to compete. I think the pitching will be okay. I think the bullpen pieces they picked up, if they can cobble it together, if Liam Hendrick gets back to the way he used to be, and Taylor Rogers can be effective again, they got enough pieces there. And the division isn't that great. Detroit, obviously, they're the clubhouse leader. They've got great pitching. They've spent a lot of money. So they're probably going to be the team to watch. But they can certainly compete with the White Sox and Royals, no problem, and maybe sneak into that wild card spot.
And when we're talking about the bullpen, Jimmy, let's not forget to mention the back-to-back World Series champion Anthony Banda that the Twins just picked up from the Dodgers.
I totally forgot. Yes, I just talked to him yesterday. What a great guy. Great guy. And he said, just for you, I asked him about what the Dodgers were like, and he said he loved it in Dodger blue. He goes, it was a team that really cared about themselves and each other. And he said that's why they were so successful, is that everybody was checking on you. All your teammates pulled for you. And he said that was one reason why they were back-to-back champions. And they had unlimited money, too, so they could buy whoever they wanted. But other than that.
It's a really special guy, Anthony Banda. He was a fan favorite, and I'm so excited to see him in the Twins colors. The Twins, my American League team, Jim. I keep telling you this. I'm on board for the Twins.
All righty. Well, I know you wouldn't be a Yankee guy, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. Thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate you very much.
Oh, hey, got to throw in one more promo spot. 5:15 on Fox 9.
Yeah.
We'll be live right here in the Twins dugout.
Yeah.
And we will have manager Derek Shelton join us live during the game. He actually said, yeah, come on in. We'll talk a little baseball. So I've never done a live shot where I'm talking to the manager while a game is going on. So that'll be interesting. Oh, here you go. We'll give you some more breaking news.
Oh, boy.
There's tonight's starter right out there. Do you see him? Where's Zebby?
Yes.
He's right here. We'll walk over and visit Zebby. Here, we'll give you a shot of him so you can see what he looks like. Here's the jersey outfits for tonight. Let me see. Do I got him yet there, Adam? Do you see him?
You got him. We see him. We see Zebby right there.
All right.
That's awesome.
So there he is getting set for the start tonight against your Golden Gophers.
Jimmy, you do it all. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you around. Come on down here. Let's go.
I'll be down there soon, hopefully. We'll see you. We'll see you. It's Jim Rich in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida at Twins HQ. Twins about to get their exhibition match against the Golden Gophers started and then begin their spring training tomorrow against the Boston Red Sox. All right, the biggest news nationally coming out of the day, the Supreme Court ruling that President Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs are illegal. We're going to be talking to a University of Minnesota law and political science professor all about this news and what it means for you and your dollars going forward. That's coming up right here on the afternoon shift. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. The biggest news here in the United States today, the Supreme Court ruling earlier that President Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs are illegal. This ruling invalidates many, but not all of the president's tariffs. Joining us now to help make sense of all of this is University of Minnesota law and political science professor, Dr. Timothy Johnson. Dr. Johnson, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks so much for being here. Can we just backtrack maybe a little bit prior to today's ruling? How did we get to this point, Professor?
Sure. So when President Trump, or just shortly after he took the oath of office in January of 2025, he invoked the IEEPA, or the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which by invoking that act gives a president the authority to do many things to protect the economy of the United States. And President Trump argued that one of those tools that he could use would be levying tariffs on other nations. There were two emergencies in particular that he claimed. One was the mass importation of fentanyl from countries including Canada and Mexico. And the other was that he wanted to institute reciprocal tariffs, which essentially were meant to reap back money from trade deficits that the U.S. might have with other countries around the world. So this was just a policy decision made by the president. And then there were almost immediately lawsuits claiming that the tariffs were unconstitutional and illegal.
Yeah. And the act that the name of the act that the Supreme Court ruled illegal today was President Trump's International Emergency Economic Powers Act. What exactly is this?
Sure. This was a law that Congress passed at the request of President Carter in 1977 so that the president could take very clear steps to punish the regime in Iran at the time, and then was used not only by President Carter after the hostages came back in 1981 against Iran and the new regime there, but also used by other presidents at other points in history between 1980 and 1925. But none of those presidents ever thought to use or thought they could use tariffs as one of the tools to enforce that particular law.
So as a follow-up to that, is the entirety of this act now kind of thrown out of the books? I mean, this has gone back to the 1970s with Jimmy Carter, like you said. Like, is the entire act illegal because of how President Trump interpreted the law? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yep, no, that makes perfect sense. No, that's absolutely not the case. The law stays on the books, but the use of tariffs under that law, either to stop the importation of something that might be bad for the United States, and then in this case, that was fentanyl was the claim from the administration, or to levy tariffs on countries who might be problematic to the United States. In this case, it was, as I said earlier, the trade deficits that the president was using as his claim that those countries were problematic for the United States. But the act itself stays. It's just the use of tariffs under the act that goes away in this case.
Understood. So after this ruling by the Supreme Court today, President Trump came out, he spoke, he added a 10% tariff tax. I see you smiling there. What exactly is that? Was this just sort of a rebuttal, if you will, to the Supreme Court's ruling?
Sure, and this is how the separation of powers works from time to time. The president disagreed with the opinion. Many presidents disagree with opinions that the Supreme Court hands down. And the president acted very quickly and said, we're going to use, as per some other laws that were mentioned in Justice Brett Kavanaugh's dissent, we will use other laws to invoke tariffs. Now, the issue with the president invoking those tariffs immediately is one of the laws that he is invoking those tariffs under only allows him to do that for 150 days, and then he would need congressional approval. Many of the other acts or laws that he might do this under would suggest or explicitly say that there needs to be investigations done against those other countries or with those other countries before the tariffs can actually be levied. So of course he comes out and says we're levying this 10% tax across the board. It's unclear whether it will be able to go into effect immediately, and there are many restrictions under those other laws. He won't have the sweeping powers of the tariff power that he claimed he did under the IEEPA.
You know, one thing I found fascinating about the Supreme Court's ruling is that it wasn't just the liberal, quote unquote, justices that voted for this. There were conservative justices that joined them too. It was a 6-3 ruling. Amy Coney Barrett voted for this. John Roberts. Both of those justices appointed by Republican presidents. Do you think that there's some significance behind? I don't want to say bipartisanship in the court because it's not really works like that, but let's just call it what it is, between justices appointed by Democratic presidents and Republican presidents kind of coming together for this. Do you think there's significance behind that?
I think there certainly is significance. If you look at the way the court has ruled in cases, by and large, since President Trump put his 3 appointees on the bench, we've had many 6-3 majorities that were the 6 Republican-appointed presidents, with the majority in the 3 democratically appointed presidents in dissent. Now, there are times, cases that might not be as important as this particular one, where there is crossover. Many of the highest salient cases don't have this this sort of crossover. So there are certainly significance, because it wasn't Justice Amy Coney Barrett who sided with the majority in this case as a Trump appointee, but Justice Neil Gorsuch as a Trump appointee as well. And President Trump also came out swinging in his press conference and said not only was he disappointed in those two justices along with the chief, but called them unpatriotic, and even said explicitly that they might be being influenced by foreign powers with the decision that they signed on to.
Powerful words, especially for two people that he appointed himself to the Supreme Court there. All right, so let's bring it back to consumers, particularly consumers here in the state of Minnesota. You know, I think that so many people, Professor, they hear about these tariffs and they just think that's a DC deal, that's an international deal, that's not affecting me. How does this news today impact consumers specifically here in Minnesota? Are there specific crops that are going to get impacted by this? I know we've done stories on this very show about soybean farmers and how the tariffs have impacted them. Soybeans are a huge crop here in Minnesota. How will Minnesotans be affected by the Supreme Court's ruling?
Well, certainly with these tariffs going away, if you will, in this particular fashion, soybean farmers will be helped because they are the ones who pay those taxes. The president has argued from the start that it is the foreign countries that pay these tariffs, and that is absolutely not true. Tariffs are taxes that are paid either by the corporations or farmers, as you're asking in this particular question, or ultimately by the consumers, because either farmers or corporations will certainly pass those costs on to consumers. And so certainly in Minnesota, as well as across the country, we may very well see prices drop. Who knows how soon that will happen, but we certainly know that farmers, as well as other corporations locally, Target, Best Buy, Medtronic, and others, will not be paying this particular tariff any longer. And time will tell whether or not this new announced 10% tariff will be enacted immediately or how long it will take.
So I'm guessing I'm taking it the overarching headline here, Professor, is that this is a good news for consumers, today's ruling, those looking to save a buck or two here and there. Yeah?
I think that's absolutely right, here in Minnesota as well as in the entire nation.
Awesome. Professor Timothy Johnson from the University of Minnesota's Law School, also a political science professor there. We do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all the insights today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great. And that was some really good knowledge that we were able to pass on there, and felt like making sense of this Supreme Court ruling that we had earlier today and how it impacts us directly here in the state of Minnesota. All right, let's keep it in the city of Minneapolis. We're going to go to Indeed Brewing Company. They have a beet battle going down tonight. You might ask yourself, what is a beet battle? I'm not really sure what a beat battle is, but our next guest, who's going to be joining me in studio, is going to be able to tell us all about it. He goes by Griswold. He is a local musician and producer, and he is going to get all into the details of tonight's show that's happening at Indeed. Don't go anywhere. We're continuing right after this commercial break. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. I am joined right now by Clark Amon, better known as Griswold. You were here promoting this this heat check beat battle that's going down at Indeed Brewing Company. Clark, thanks so much for being with me today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
All right, so tell us, what exactly is a beat battle? I don't even know what a beat battle is here.
Yeah, so beat battle, the thing on February 26th is going to be 4 producers producing a beat live on the spot. They give 20 minutes to cook up with a sample that I provide them. So basically they'll have their drum machines in front of them and they'll chop up the sample and add drums to it, put their own flavor on it, and then the audience votes for the best one.
Yeah. So this is kind of like in a way, it's an impromptu improv sort of contest.
Exactly,
if you will.
yeah. Like on the spot, live beat making session.
Yeah.
Essentially.
How'd you get the idea for this?
Well, there were a number of beat battles in the city that I've been to over the past few years as I've been kind of like in the Minneapolis scene. But a lot of them were like pre-made beats. So they would come with beats they've already made like a week or two before. And I really wanted to create something where you had to like be a little bit under pressure and cook up like live on the spot. Because I think the best moments happen when you're kind of under pressure and you have those guardrails. So I'm like, let's like throw them into the kitchen a little bit, turn up the heat, and that's where Heat Check came about.
Are you good under pressure when it comes to beat battles?
I like to think of myself as so. I think the best moments in my like music creation journey have been like when I've been under pressure, for sure.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I know we have license to play some of your work that you've done here, examples of what people can see at the Heat Check beat battle. Let's roll in some of Clark's work here. You make all of these beats. These are all organically. You make all of
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I love it. How do you like get into this like line of work? Like how did you first like get into this?
Well, it's interesting because I started mainly in college, like end of high school, early college. I had a podcast that I did.
Where'd
So
you
this
go
is
to
like
college? Where'd you go to college?
the U of M.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
all right.
So this is right up my alley right now.
Yeah.
This type of vibe.
Yeah, sure.
And I made a bunch of instrumentals for the podcast itself.
Yeah.
And then kind of as time went on, I started getting into playing drums. Like I would just like shadow drum at my desk job over like my summer internship. And then I got kind of more into the music scene, started playing in bands, and really fell in love with like creating beats and music, and just connected with like the amazing creatives in Minneapolis, and just kind of got into the process of putting songs together and releasing releasing music and performing live, doing all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I moved here about a year ago, and so many people when I moved here have been talking about the artistry scene and the music scene here in Minneapolis, and I think people grow up learning about people like Prince and Sheila E. and obviously Bob Dylan and whatnot. But man, the artist scene here is really, really, really strong, and I'm learning about beat artists and people that make this kind of stuff that you're doing. Can you talk about the community that's here and how it's been so strong? And I know a big part of this this Heat Check thing also kind of pertains to the Ice Out protest that we saw 3 and 4 weeks ago today, respectfully. Can you talk about the community here and the protests and how they've all kind of impacted this event?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's such a untapped creativity in Minneapolis that isn't really seen by like the larger music industry. I think now we're kind of getting a lot of more visibility in terms of that. But it's like over the winter, all you can do is just like be in your basement or be in the studio and like make amazing music. And there's so many people who do that and they don't have the platform to be able to showcase that. So that's why I'm excited to bring Heat Check and kind of provide a platform for these producers to kind of showcase their work, because I know it's hard to be able to do that. And all that's kind of pointing back to the community, which has really flourished during these really challenging, unfortunate times with like the occupation with ICE and everything. But I think like in these moments where the pressure is the highest, that's when like it's most crucial to create and to just like share your voice. So being able to do that with this Heat Check beat battle is everything.
Yeah, and I know at the Heat Check beat battle, the producer is going to be given some sound bites that were captured at the Ice Out protest. Can you talk a little bit about this? Like, what are these sound bites going to be?
Yeah. So I went to a number of the protests the past couple weeks, and it's basically me walking around, like voice memo recording on my phone, all the different chants from people from all walks of life. Some of the things you can't really repeat live on air.
Sure.
But very rhythmic, very percussion based, very like emotional chants. So I think being able to like flip those things is really special.
Griswold, we have actually taken some of those some of those parades and some of those chants live. Unfortunately, well, I mean they're quite catchy, but we know exactly what you're talking about. Some of those sort of more colourful chants.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the show.
And it's people, banging on dumpsters and clapping their hands together, and it's like these are like amazing organic sounds that can be turned into masterpieces.
I'm curious if I'm someone that's never been to something like this, the Heat Check. What is it most similar to, and what can I expect as an audience member going to see this event?
Most similar.
Like how does it play out? Like, do people get up? Like, what am I going to experience as a listener, viewer?
Yeah, totally. So essentially, I'm going to kind of set things up with the four producers, give people an intro, showcase the sample that's going to be provided, and then the producers have 20 minutes to cook up a beat, like in their headphones, isolated, and then that work is showcased after the 20 minutes. The audience votes for the top two that they like, and then those two go head-to-head in another round of 20 minutes to determine the overall winner. So during those 20 minutes, it'll kind of just be like people DJing, people hanging out. I'll showcase some of my unreleased music, my beats and stuff like that. Just kind of making it a fun, exciting vibe at Indeed, which already has such a great vibe to begin with. Just kind of a hangout, and then add a little bit of competition to it as well.
I think it's so cool. You were going to the protests, and obviously I'm sure you were there supporting the cause, but also you had a producer's brain and you were thinking about music, and you were using, like you said, the chants that were going on at these protests and people banging on dumpsters and banging on whatever and kind of creating percussion. You heard really music when you were out there. I feel like not a lot of people really think like that. So that's a really interesting perspective that you got. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think like in these moments, it's very easy to feel like you have no control in the world. Like the world is bigger than you and you have to shrink yourself to exist in it. Like me as a white person, like I experienced that to a small extent compared to our like black and brown brothers and sisters. But when creating music, or when I see someone create music, or I see a live performance, I'm reminded that we can create our worlds and we can create beauty at all moments, no matter what we're going through. And I just feel like having an event like this, it allows people to see into that world creation process and into the brains that these amazing producers have. So it's just a really exciting opportunity to be able to showcase them.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes,
all going starting tonight, from my understanding, at Indeed, or
it's actually next Thursday, the 26th.
Next Thursday, 7 o'clock at Indeed.
That's right.
So that's what's going on next week. What's next for you? What's the next steps in your career here?
Yeah, so I actually have my very first live band performance on March 6th at 9th Street Soccer. So y'all can come to that. Check it out.
Is this like soccer fields or what?
It is a soccer field. So I'm playing live on the pitch. It's an indoor soccer field, so it won't be too cold.
Okay.
But there'll be kind of standing room on the pitch, and you can also like play soccer.
Sure.
During the show.
Sure.
So it's just going to be a lot of band performances, and then I work very closely with one of my best friends and another artist named Laverne. And we're working on a bunch of music. We're putting a bunch of projects together, and a lot of those protest samples will be in that album, interlaced with our other music. Yeah. So I feel like my albums are always just a snapshot of like what's going on in the world at the moment. So I'm just going to keep living and keep taking snapshots and putting out music.
How'd you land on the name Griswold as your stage name? Clark Amon as your real name. Griswold. Where does that come from?
Well, it's funny because my middle school gym teacher, shout out Pete.
What middle school did you go to? Get the middle
Barton.
School. Barton
Middle School.
Wherever that is. Shout out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out the Bulldogs, South Minneapolis. They're now, I think, the Bears or something. But I'm a Bulldog through and through.
Yeah.
I always would walk in and he'd be like, "Hey Griswold, hey Grizzer," you know, like as in the National Lampoon character Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
So I was kind of trying to think about like what a good moniker would be. And I'm like, that just pays homage to like my childhood growing up and like the Midwest as a whole and just like cinema and art. And it just rolls off the tongue, you know? So that's where Griswold came from.
Yeah. You Minnesota the rest of your life. You seem a very community-oriented guy and very proud of where you came from.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's just so much talent here, and I've always kind of been on the verge of maybe leaving. Like, I have a bunch of friends in New York and know people in LA. My parents lived in Chicago for a while, so I was out there a lot. But the thing about Minneapolis is every time you think you've seen it all, a new vein opens up, and you're like, wow, like these are some people I've never seen before. This is a community I've never been a part of. And it's just a new place to explore. So I don't know. There's just a lot of doors to unlock here at all moments. So I'm excited.
Griswold, I've got two questions for you. First one, when we go to break, am I able to play your music as we go to break? Is that okay with you?
Sorry, say one more time.
When we go to commercial break, are you okay with me playing your song that you gave us, the sample, as we go to break? That's my
absolutely.
First question. My second question to you is, the face of creating music has obviously changed a lot. Like you mentioned, you're out there recording protests, chants. We've seen people like Billie Eilish using like the traffic, you know, the green man, red man kind of light, the and Charlie Puth using things like cups and like pitching them up. Obviously, that has changed how people kind of can create music now. We're seeing a lot more. Is there like a particular sound or sample that you've heard that stuck with you that you're like, oh, that is amazing, I've got to use that in something?
This is actually, I'm really glad you asked that because, so my sister, she actually passed away about 5 years ago. And ever since then, I've just been using all of her old like voice memos she sent me, like voicemails she has. We had a bunch of videos that we put together for her memorial of her laughing, and it's created so many amazing little percussive elements that I've just interlaced into my music. And it's incredible. Like, it's like she's just like a part of the process and a part of the voice at all moments, you know? So being able to like have her live on in the music, those are like sounds that I will cherish and use for the rest of my life, you know? And you can check out my album with Laverne, where we use a bunch of that music. It's called Not a Fighter on Spotify. You can like look at my name or Laverne or whatever, and you can hear my sister living on through the music.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm glad I asked the question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that story too. And I know sometimes the best art can come out of really sad, you know, things, but it's
100%.
awesome that you're living, you know, your sister continues to live out her spirit through your music, and you're continuing to do big things. The Heat Check Beat Battle next week at Indeed Brewing Company, free to the public. Yeah. Yep.
Free and open. Yeah,
Free
come
and
through, check it out, man.
Yeah,
see what's going on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Clark Amon, Griswold, thank you so much for being with us today. We learned what a beat was, and we learned all about this awesome event that's going to be going down at Indeed next week, the Heat Check, and I just think it's awesome what you're doing, and I think you are a real visionary. Like I said, going to an event like a protest, I think most people are just there to, you know, take part in it, you know, people watch maybe some of them or whatever, but actually going there for the cause, but also thinking with that producer's mentality and trying to figure out how you can use this in some of your music is amazing stuff. So
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you, Griswold.
Yeah, likewise.
We're going to roll the break with some of Griswold's music, and we'll be back here on the afternoon show. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. It is February 20th, and we are continuing our series here on Black History here on our show. I want to give a special shout out today to Nellie Stone Johnson, the first Black elected official in the city of Minneapolis' history. You probably have heard the DFL party, and we all know that that's the Democrat party here in Minnesota, but you probably wonder, what does the F and the L stand for? The Democratic Farmer Labor Party exists because of Nellie Johnson. She helped forge it. She merged the moderate Minnesota Democratic Party with the separate Farmer Labor Party back in 1944, forming the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party, the DFL party as it's known. If you've ever heard that acronym, you can thank Nellie Johnson. She counseled both Vice President Hubert Humphrey, who served under President Lyndon Baines Johnson, and was a senator from Minnesota. And she also counseled Walter Mondale, the vice president under Jimmy Carter. We were just talking about Jimmy Carter in the tariff segment, and was the Democratic nominee in the 1984 presidential election. Her history in the city of Minneapolis, really, and her history with public service really goes back to 1924. She was hired as an elevator attendant at the all-male and all-white Minneapolis Athletic Club in downtown, earning $15 a week. But after her wages were cut to $12.50 per week, she began quietly organizing workers with the Minneapolis Hotel and Restaurant Workers Union, and her career really took off from there. In 1945, she was elected to the library board, and with that, she became the first Black person to be elected to a citywide office in Minneapolis. Her career continued with civil rights. In the 60s, she raised money for the freedom marches that were really led by people like Martin Luther King Jr. and the late Jesse Jackson, who died earlier this week on Tuesday morning. A statue of Nellie Johnson was unveiled at the Minnesota State Capitol back in 2022, just 4 years ago. The first statue of a woman ever at the Minnesota State Capitol grounds is of Nellie Johnson, one of the great African-American pioneers in the city of Minneapolis and in the state of Minnesota's history, one of the great woman pioneers in this state's history, and one of the great civil rights pioneers, not just here in Minnesota, but really nationally as well. Nellie Johnson, a consigliere, if you will, to Vice President Hubert Humphrey and Vice President Walter Mondale, sort of the brains behind the scenes. You saw those two faces in the White House. You didn't see Nellie Johnson, but she was very close by each one of their sides, advising them, helping both of those gentlemen out. So I tip my hat to you, Nellie Johnson, on this Black History Month, the first Black elected official ever in the city of Minneapolis' history, and the first woman, period, Black or white, to have a statue erected of her at the state capitol, Nellie Stone Johnson. Remember that name. It's not a name that you know, but it's a name that has made important waves in the state of Minnesota's history and in the city of Minneapolis' history. All right, we're going to continue with our Black History Month segment all of next week, the final week in February. We should have some good stuff on the horizon. And with that, we're going to throw it to commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to round out today's show and throw it to the weekend. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. We're about to send you to the Fox 9 News at 5 o'clock with Karen and Simone. They're at the desk. But first, we just had on Griswold. He is putting on this beat battle called Heat Check at Indeed Brewing Company next Thursday. And there is the official poster graphic of that Heat Check. We're really excited to have Griswold on the show today and learn more about it. Griswold, such a fascinating dude, a real visionary and a real music producer that has really thought a lot of the way forward with all of this, and using this opportunity to give other local musicians a platform. Platforms are very hard to come by, and shout out to Griswold for doing that. A proud son of the city of Minneapolis, does a lot of work to give back to the community. So go check him out and his event out at Indeed Brewing Company this upcoming Thursday, so a week from yesterday, 7 to 9 o'clock at Indeed Brewing Company. It's called Heat Check Beat Battle. Paul Milgate, you're going to go to that, right? He's thinking about it.
Yes, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Sounds great.
Does sound great.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
It does. It does sound great.
What are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? I'm going to a fish fry tonight. I'm very excited about that. This is my time of year. I love fish fry season. The first Friday of Lent, I'll be at St. Thomas More on Summit Avenue in St. Paul at their fish fry tonight, and keeping my options open for tomorrow and Sunday. Hoping to maybe get outside, going on a little bit of a walk. How about you?
Well, tonight I am heading to Chanhassen Dinner Theatres to see Guys and Dolls, the latest production. I'm heading there to check it out the first time. It's reviews will be out tomorrow morning, so we'll see how that all goes. But I'm really excited to head there. Love a trip to the Chanhassen and getting to see a new show.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to try out one of those seafood dishes for me and see. Maybe I could go to Chanhassen on a Friday.
Yeah, get your fish.
Yeah,
I think they have an orange roughy on the menu, but I know that you're a massive fan of the chicken chan. So.
I am a massive fan of the chicken chan. I got that prime rib last time, and it wasn't bad. I was just missing the chicken chan.
You did miss the chicken chan. So yeah,
Yep.
I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner yet, but I know that I'm going to see a great show.
Yes, and I've been seeing a lot of ads for Guys and Dolls, so I know it's going to be a good show there too. So.
Yeah, so that's the plan for that, and then the weekend, I don't know. It looks like it's going to be pretty cold.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's not going to be the lovely warm weather that we had full spring last weekend. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to play it by ear.
There you go. I'm excited to play it by ear and maybe watch some college hoops as well. Sending it off to Karen and Simone, who are at the desk for the Fox 9 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Adam Lorenz on behalf of the entire afternoon shift team and the Fox 9 team. Thanks so much for being with us this week. Take care. Have a good weekend.